I finally played the highly anticipated, highly requested, people lining outside of GameStop High School DxD game. I guess I should give you guys a recap since it's been so long. A while ago I made a video asking the gods to create a High School DxD game. I was ready to sacrifice my entire body like Alphonse from Fullmetal Alchemist if it meant getting the High School DxD game I envisioned, and luckily for me, these prayers were answered. A few months later, it was announced that a High School DxD game would be coming out soon, and we all celebrated joyously because we finally got some new DxD content. Fast forward to a couple months ago, the game finally came out and everyone hated it. People tore this game to shreds. You could probably serve someone a peanut butter fish omelet with a side of moths, and they would have probably enjoyed that meal more than they enjoyed the High School DxD game. Everyone took turns throwing tomatoes at this game, but now it's my turn. I feel contractually obligated to talk about this game since I spoke it into existence. So I put on my big boy pants, loaded the game up, and I was immediately greeted with this. What a start. So I ultimately played the game for about an hour and a half, and I can confidently say that this game just isn't very good. Obviously, I think we all expected it to be bad once we heard that it was going to be a browser game. I've played games from that studio before, so I already knew what to expect when I found out that they were the ones behind this game. There surprisingly are some good things about this game that I think should be highlighted, and that I think have been overlooked in this sea of hatred. The art is good, each character card comes with their own little animation, and it looks pretty cool. I enjoyed going through all the characters and seeing a cool little drawing of them. That was easily the most effort that they put into this game. They also had a cool little gambling mode that I liked, where you just open packs and pray you get your favorite character. It's always fun to open packs in games, and that's no different here. I was desperately trying to get Azazel, and even though that plan fell through pretty quickly, I did still enjoy the pack opening. They also give you the ability to change your profile picture, and of course I went with Freed as mine since I couldn't have Azazel. Each character has their own little catchphrase at the end of battles. Most of the phrases don't even match the characters, but it's still mildly interesting to see what they're going to say. And of course, just the fact that we have High School DxD characters in a game is cool. And yeah, that's about it. Besides for those things, there wasn't too much to like about this game. The first thing that you'll notice when playing this game is that this isn't a High School DxD game. It's a G123 game that uses the skin of High School DxD characters. It's more like a High School DxD mod texture pack. If you've played one of G123's games, then you've played them all. And High School DxD Operation Paradise is a prime example of this. They made no effort to differentiate this game from any of their other games. The most you get is a little animated storyboard at the very beginning of the game, but that's it. There's no voice acting in the game, which isn't the biggest of deals. They do have sound effects, which is actually pretty surprising, and they do have battle music for when you're fighting, but they set it up so awkwardly that you can't help but laugh when it switches between the battle music and the regular music. Like, what is that transition? They did it in like the most awkward way possible. There had to have been a better way of doing that. There were times where I couldn't do anything but laugh at just how low effort everything was. Like the gears that you put on characters, they didn't even bother making them DxD specific. I kid you not, I gave Freed a shirt, shoes, a baseball bat, and a headband. That's the level of creativity that went into this game. This game makes 2K, Madden, and FIFA look like innovative masterpieces. Even the Prodigy math game that I played in elementary school had more effort put into it than this game. The closest thing I got to a DxD specific gear was a flaming sword, which is a pretty vague name, so that gear can probably somewhat resemble any fantasy world. It's almost like they made the game with the intention of avoiding spoilers, but no one other than High School DxD fans would dare to open this abysmal game. Nobody's on the edge of their seat waiting for the next G123 game to drop. Like, that's not happening. They make these games for fans, but they couldn't even get the bare minimum of things right. The way that they rank their characters is actually incomprehensible. It's like they just put each character through a random generator and that's how they decided what rank they would be. Like Rainier is a gold character. I can't really remember the names of the rank, but I think the gold characters were the best of the best and they were 5 stars. Now Rainier being a 5-star character, I guess you can argue she's popular and she plays a pretty important role in the story, but at the very bottom of the rank rankings, when you scroll all the way down at 22 centimeters per second, at the very bottom is Fenrir. Fenrir, you know, one of the strongest characters in the series? Yeah, he's one of the weakest characters in the game. But even I was able to justify it by just saying he's not that important or imposing in the anime, so maybe that's what they went by. So I can give him a pass. But if you scroll back up to the highest tier, you will see the most baffling choices. They have Carla Warner as one of the best characters in the game. Yes, Carla Warner, that fallen angel that was there just to get squashed by Rias, the one with like 5 lines of dialogue, she is one of the best characters in the game. Like, there's no rationalizing that. It just makes no sense. Like, let me give you a list of characters that she's ranked higher than. Tsubaki, Saji, Freed, Fenrir, Base Issei, and basically the entirety of Sona, Cyraorg, and Riser's peerages. And the icing on the cake is that right next to her is Matelt. It's just so random. It almost feels like they chose the character ranks based off attractiveness. But I don't know if that's the case, because that bald thug Hades is at the highest tier, and so is Isabella. So it can't be attractiveness, it can't be strength, because you do have strong characters like Hades at the top, but then you look to his left and right and you'll see the biggest jobbers in the series right next to him. It can't be importance, because again, you have a character like Carla Warner at the top. Like, there's no metric where this ranking makes sense. Small details like that, or lack of details like that, are why I say this isn't a DxD game, because there was no effort in trying to make it anything like the anime or light novel. It doesn't follow anything, it just feels random, and it feels so low effort. Now, I know I've been going in, but I should probably make it known that I didn't necessarily have a bad time playing this game. I wasn't puking up blood or anything like that, but honestly, I probably would have preferred that, because playing this game leaves you with the most nothing feeling ever. The biggest problem with this game is that it's unbelievably boring. Staring at a static TV screen is more enjoyable than playing this game. I say game lightly because calling this a game is probably a sin. I should be condemned to hell for calling this a game, because you aren't playing anything. There is no gameplay. You just click battle and then you watch your characters fight, and you do that every single time. There's no difference between boss fights and regular fights. They aren't really even boss fights. They're just regular fights with the word boss slapped on top of them. But besides for that, there's no difference. It is tragically boring. You're just watching your characters fight with no input of your own, and it gets old so fast. I said this while I was playing the game, but the easiest fix to make this game more enjoyable is to just add interactive gameplay. Let us pick what attack we want to do. If I'm playing with Issei, I want to be able to do a dragon shot. If I'm playing with Asya, I want to be able to heal the team. Just letting the player choose the move they would like to do would make the battle so much more enjoyable. But I guess it's just too much effort for this game studio. Let's just reskin the same game for the 100th time. It is crazy how many games they have like this. You can go to any anime that doesn't have like a massive following, and you will find a game from this studio about that anime, and it'll be the exact same game. Like, this has to be some type of money laundering scheme. Like, what is going on? This can't be legal. It's terrible. The campaign mode is terrible. You don't get any storyboards between battles, so you're just fighting aimlessly with no goal in mind, no end goal in mind. You're not doing anything. You're just fighting and watching your characters, but you're not fighting towards anything. So what's the point of doing the campaign mode? You don't get any variation between battles. It's just a bunch of nothing. I even played past the first chapter. I sat through 40 battles, and there was no difference between chapter 1 and chapter 2. Not even a change of scenery. That's the bare minimum that I expected, was for the background to change, but I was still at Kuo Academy. And I know that the background does change because I've seen it. But to make your players go through 40 plus battles just to get a change of background, that has to be some form of torture. It is awful. The campaign is somewhat enjoyable for like 5 battles, but then you just get so tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And switching characters doesn't really help because there's nothing to look at. The moves, the animations that the characters are doing, they're not interesting. They're just basic standard moves that don't really make you feel like you're watching the character that you're supposed to be watching. And the worst part about the gameplay is every other game mode is the exact same thing as the campaign. I unlocked this tower mode and it was the same exact gameplay and the same exact game mechanics. You're just playing for different rewards. I don't get it. I don't get why they even made the game. It's very clear this game was made to just steal money from the poor fans who were excited to play as their favorite DxD characters. You don't need to spend money on this game, but this game goes through all the lengths possible to make you spend even the tiniest amount of money. I was half expecting a hand to reach out of my computer and just steal my wallet. Anytime you do anything, you get hit with a pop-up begging you to spend money. Basically, every time you blink, there's a new pop-up trying to get you to spend 10 cents on something. And that's the thing, it's very tempting to spend money on this game because of how cheap everything is. There were multiple times where I was considering spending money because everything was just so cheap. We're talking like below 10 cents. Now, I wouldn't recommend spending a cent on this game because it just isn't worth it. You're better off just throwing money into a fountain and making a wish. But there were some things in this game that were actually expensive. Like they had this Rias character for like $50 and then Roswisa battle pass was like $15, something like that. I think the strategy is to bait people in with low prices, and then once they get comfortable spending low amounts of money on the game, then they'll be more likely to pay for the higher priced items. That's my little tinfoil conspiracy theory. They do this thing where they give you an infinite amount of pack openings. You open 10 packs at a time and you can keep reopening them until you get the characters you want. But of course they have a catch. One, they took all the good characters out of the pack so you can only get the low level gold characters. And two, you have to actually pay to get the characters that you roll from the pack. And that's how they almost got me. I was very tempted to pay for it because I was just so defeated and I wanted to leave here with something. The pack I rolled had So-So in it, so I was definitely considering it. But I'm glad I didn't pay for that because I haven't even thought about opening the game ever since I've played it last. So-So would have been on my roster covered in dust, probably looking like Frosty the Snowman. The game just has no replay value because there's nothing to play. Again, the best part is the pack openings and trying to get characters. I was trying so desperately to get Azazel, but of course that was never really going to happen without at least a $50 donation directly into the developers' pockets. It was just very disappointing. Overall, I'd probably give this like a 2.3 out of 10. It's about as good as the Don't Look Away movie on Tubi. It's honestly a mystery why they even bothered releasing this game. It's uninspired, unplayable, and unenjoyable. I hope they make a sequel. It's good to be back. I just had to talk about this tragic disaster of a game. I played it for fun and recorded some gameplay footage, and man, I just knew that I had to make this into a little rant. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to get back into the groove of things, so the next video will probably also be something pretty easy. So you can look forward to that, I guess. I'm in a rush, I gotta go, it's like 2 a.m. So I'm gonna get out of here. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.